Mecky with another Bachelor update. Whatever season this is, the first Black Bachelor season, Matt James. Clearly so excited about that. Okay, so I'm back with another review, recap, reaction. I guess it's not really reaction because it's not as I'm watching it, but y'all know what I mean. Okay, so it picked up where it left off last week. He was at the rose ceremony and gave his final rose to Victoria, not Mary Lynn, which I think last week I was calling her Marianne, and her name is really Mary Lynn, but that's so close, and I'm bad with names, so forgive me. He gave the rose to Victoria, and I was like, no, I cannot. My friends were like texting me like, I know you're watching. Do you see who he gave the rose to? Yes, y'all. I saw who he gave the rose to. Was I mad about it? A little. But I feel like at the end of the day, he wasn't going to pick her anyway. So why not? That's the same reason why, for a second I was like, why aren't any of these girls stepping in and telling him like, Matt, Victoria lying. Victoria's the crazy one. Mary Lynn is so sweet. They was like, this is what I'm thinking it was like. They were probably thinking like they have a better chance of getting chose if Victoria is there than how it would be if Mary Lynn was there. So whatever. And I guess they're all in it for love. So I get it. So yeah, that was that. They went on a group date. And on the group date, I was shook because Chris Harrison, the host, has a whole sex book. And it's giving 50 Shades. It's giving everything that I wasn't expecting from Chris Harrison. My question is, Chris, when did you have the time to write this book? You know what? I guess he does have time because while they're recording The Bachelor, he only pops up when it's time for a date or an elimination. So, okay. I'm just picturing where his mind goes while he's in his room all alone. Whatever. Shout out to Chris. Chris, if you're tuned in, send me a copy of that book. What is it called? The Love Letter. Send me a copy because, I'm a little interested. But the day was kind of weird. It was a little awkward. It was so funny because they had to write like a sex scene or a steamy sex, whatever, a night of passion. And Matt went first and he goes, chocolate cake. Where is the sex, Matt? What is sexy about some chocolate cake? Now, I do know you can do some sexy things with chocolate cake. I get that. But the way he's like, chocolate cake. Like, that was his big, like, this is me being sexy. Chocolate cake. Like, Matt, come on now. Have a seat. Not gonna lie. Victoria was actually my favorite yesterday. Not my favorite as in who Matt should choose, but my favorite on that particular date when it came to the task at hand. Victoria did not hold back and gave zero fucks. She was very funny with her little sex story. Look it up. It's probably on YouTube or Google, a snippet somewhere. She was hilarious. What else happened? Oh, Sarah happened. Sarah, honey, I don't think Sarah was ready for The Bachelor, okay? She could have held back for another 2 seasons. She could have waited a while. It seemed like, Sarah obviously had or still has a lot going on at home with her family life. And on top of what's going on with her dad, just everything that's going on with all the girls in the house, honey, it's not your time. Now's not the time. She did eventually end up packing up and saying that she was leaving. Now, we all know how The Bachelor goes. We don't know if they're gone until they're really gone. And then there's some people who leave and then they come back once it's time for the fantasy suites and they're like, hey, I'm back. I couldn't stop thinking about you. I think that is an option of what can happen when it comes to Sarah. So I'm not writing her completely out of The Bachelor just yet because they always bring in somebody back. Which actually, it looks like next week they're bringing in 3 new girls. Someone hit me up like, why would they bring in 3 new girls? There's already so many girls. I'm sure they're going to explain where these girls came from, but I can also see they were approved. Maybe they had corona and they had to quarantine a bit longer because it's still 3 weeks in. And so that will be like the 4th week. So maybe that's what happened. We'll find out next week. Another thing, the girls were complaining, and just like Sarah, you know, Sarah was upset that he was spending time, or not spending time with other girls. I think actually she was kind of upset that he was spending time with other girls. Sarah needs to understand this man is dating everybody. He's not here just for you, Sarah. And as far as the other girls, I feel like they needed a refresher on how the Bachelor works too. The Bachelor, girl, you gotta go get your time. He ain't always gonna be able to come to you. And so that was my thought yesterday while watching. I'm like, these girls are complaining about, oh, but I haven't had a chance with him yet. We barely even got to talk. Like, I didn't even get to talk to him all night. That's because you were sitting there trying to look cute on that couch, honey. You got to get up and go. You got to get up and go. That should be the slogan or the motto when it comes to The Bachelor. Get up and go. Okay. Lastly, he went on another one-on-one with, what's the girl name? Serena. They did talk about unconventional living and breaking the norm, which I thought was important. They talked about, you know, all the pressures that they wanted to live a life that would make their parents proud, and how they had to realize, like, no, I'm not happy. I have to do what will make me happy. And I think a lot of people need to realize that, you know, you have to live your own life. Your parents were able to live the life they chose, how they chose to live it. We got to live our lives the way we choose to live it. There's no workbook or manual or whatever you would call it. So shout out to them. I was glad that they shined. I was going to say shine light on that. But yeah, all in all, their date, you know, it was cool. There were a bunch of donkeys and stuff. I thought it was kind of weird that he had donkeys in between his legs, trying to get to the charcuterie board or the cheese board. You know, they call it something fancy like charcuterie board. But the donkeys were trying to get the cheese board. I wouldn't have been on that date. You ain't about to have me around a bunch of donkeys. No, sir, no, ma'am. Look, low-key, Matt was kind of boring to me. I was even playing tic-tac-toe by myself. But maybe it was just moments. Anyways, you guys, let me know what your thoughts were on last night's episode. Oh wait, maybe was it episode 3 or was it episode 4? I feel like it was episode 3. Anyway, let me know what your thoughts were, who your favorites are, whatever else comes to mind. Bree is still my favorite, but you know, we'll see how that continues to play out. And I will see you guys next week.